Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot, as usual, on this thirsty Thursday. Good morning. If you're new to the live stream, awesome. Welcome. If you're returning to the live stream, even better. Good to see you back on here. With that, on the first half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, anything that jumps out at us on the watch list. On the second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. So make sure to put in the ticker symbol, put in the name of the asset. Is it crypto? Is it stock? What type of asset is it? So that I can search for it quickly and keep the live streaming. So obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully have a little bit of entertainment along the way, whether that is making fun of me or not. Doesn't matter as long as we have a good time. So with that, we'll get rock and rolling here. Bitcoin, Wyckoff distribution. I posted that chart October 8th. Then I posted the NASDAQ. What looked like Wyckoff distribution is happening in real time. And this is the TQQQQQQQ. It's the bull ETF for the 3X bull ETF for the NASDAQ. And that's what we have pulled up on the chart here. So we're gonna get into all of that. We always cover Bitcoin first, but just wanted to kind of show you the TQQQQQ. It's already mapped out, ready to go, and we will cover it here today. So stay tuned. But first, let's jump over, and I've got it mapped out over here as well. But let's go back over to our normal setup and what we're looking at on Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin daily chart. West Diddy 4825. Hello, snipers. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, could you please check AREC? Sure. Give me the stock. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let me know all the details. Toby Talk 7887. Are you long? Are you short? Are you waiting patiently for a move? What's the case? What is it? What's going on over there with that stock? BE on daily and weekly. Max Meyer -Y9Y. Give me all the details. I'm assuming it's probably stock, but let me know if it's stock, crypto. Are you long? Are you short? What's the case? What's the situation? Hello. Jason, good morning, sir. RBLX stock NASDAQ. Thanks, Denny. Denny B-H2H. Yeah, we'll circle back with all the chart requests, and we'll try to make sure to answer all the questions on the comments. But first, let's jump into Bitcoin. On October 8th, we had posted that Bitcoin Wyckoff distribution. We all know that. It was at 123,700 at the time. Why is that relevant today? Well, just showing that we called it at the top. And now, then we talked about how Tesla looked similar, how the NASDAQ looked similar, and in hindsight, they're all starting to roll over, right? So that's why it's relevant. On October 10th, we posted the Bitcoin bear market roadmap. Price is also breaking down on the daily chart. That roadmap was based off of the weekly chart with longer-term bearish divergence. But on the daily chart, price broke down, had a sell signal below the trailing dots as well. So kind of kicked everything off. And so fast forward to current times right now. I mean, we had so many calls along the way. And we're not done. We're not done making calls. There's a couple of reply guys. How come we didn't hit this target by the end of February, like you said? Well, we don't have a magic crystal ball of exactly when targets are going to get hit. And as time goes on, we adjust our price action and our timing as price goes on, right? As price unfolds the true path over time, we adjust in real time. We forecast. We do a lot of forecasting. We do a lot of speculation. And whether it happened or not at the end of February, whether it happens or not in the first week of March or the second week of March, or price comes down here end of March or April, whatever the case may be, doesn't really matter timing wise, right? Unless you're in, options and your option is expiring, then it would matter. But on Bitcoin specifically, it doesn't matter on the timing wise. And, it's still the overall thought is it's in a bear market. It has been in a bear market since October. So what is that? November, December, January, February, March, 5 months into a typical 12-month bear market. And so the timing of coming down to this lower level, coming down to retesting the 200-week SMA, coming down to these lower levels, whether that's February, March, April, whatever, the level itself is the most important. So, bum, 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 bum. Lucky Look 7159, welcome back. What's up? What's up? What's up, Jesse? Let's rock and roll. Yep. Rafa dot El Rico. Hopefully I said that okay. That's why we make fun of Jesse, because my pronunciations. So Max Meyer. I have no clue how to say this name, so I apologize. So the yellow path seems like the yellow path is going to happen. The yellow path was put out about 10 days ago. And we put it out before this pump up, right? So that was the 4th. That was 8. Yeah. 9 to I'm pretty sure it was 10 days ago. So 10 days ago we put out this path. We also put out the blue path, but I think the blue path was just basically this done a second time. But the yellow path is more similar to like 2022 at this stage. And so I still think at one point I was 50-50. Now I'm leaning more towards, and I was saying it was 50-50 on this buy signal on yellow or blue path. Both of them came back down to this area around similar timing. But I said on that breakout, we would have to see how tomorrow's candle is, which was yesterday. And that would kind of give us a more like a bigger sign. Like if it's pushing up higher and there's momentum to the upside, then I would lean more blue path, which still ended up down here. I think maybe I deleted it. I'd have to redraw it. I might as well. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Right? Change it to blue. Since I'm talking about blue. So yellow or blue path, they go to the same area, right? So it's the same thought. But based off of yesterday's candle close and the way price action is working today, and then you have the overall markets rolling over, yellow path, I'm leaning more towards the yellow path every day that the price action works out like this, right? So that was the pump up. It was similar price bounce, similar percentage on the price bounce as back here as it was over here. It's very close to about 22%. So we'll see how it actually ends up playing out. But if price starts breaking back down into here, then it's going to be the yellow path all the way, right? Versus the blue path. Both end up at the same level. Both say prices going back down, lower prices. So That's where we're at on the Bitcoin daily chart. Yellow path is in full motion right now, unless today starts pushing back up higher, right? Then the blue path. But I'm not really seeing that right now. It seems like yesterday would have had to be the day, uh, like it was on, say, January 13th, right? So after the retest, price pushed back up and took out that wick and went higher. This time it did not. This time it's losing steam, right? It's losing momentum on the daily chart. And we know that the bearish momentum on the higher time frames for Bitcoin remain bearish. And they're more bearish on the higher time frames today, March 12th, than they were back here in January. So the bounce was still higher on the wick to wick. Pretty sure it was. Let's see. Yeah, call it 23.5%, let's say. And over here it was 21.5%. So 2% higher of a bounce. It doesn't feel like it, but it was 2% higher of a bounce. So we'll see how it plays out. We're still going to cover the weekly chart. We'll cover the 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart, all of that. Yeah, just because the way we said we would have more information. So on Tuesday, we said we'd have more information on yesterday's close, and we do. It didn't continue to push up higher like it did over here. And then today, similar thinking, right? And there was even a pending sell signal at one point, and by the end of the close today or tomorrow, could have another pending sell signal. So yeah, it seems like it. But we'll cover more. We're going to get into it more detail on the higher time frames to show you the overall momentum. And but first, since we don't have any paid sponsors, we don't have any paid affiliates. Uh, we've been offered almost every single day, but we've never taken $1 of affiliate money since I started posting charts on X. I've had an account there since 2009, but I didn't start posting charts until 5 years ago. But 5 years ago, I started posting my charts on X as a hobby because I was already trading, and I'd already retired from mortgage and real estate business to trade full time as a swing trader. And I had to fill some time while I was in a swing trade for, 2-3 weeks. I had to do something with my time. I had a golf membership and I was posting charts. I started posting charts on X, right? So that's what I filled. Well, it was Twitter at the time, but that's what I did with my time. And now I'm even more woven into more and more about the charts. So here we are. But with that said, you can find our website over here on Market Sniper Pro, or Jesse Olson profile also has Market Sniper Pro, and that will take you to the website. And you can learn a lot more about it over here, all the features. Um, it's $49 a month. We have our own charting system, which you saw earlier on TQQQ, and the screener and all that stuff, dashboard setups, bot suite, recorded coaching. The recorded coaching used to be $79 a month. Now we've thrown in recorded coaching, which includes for the $49 a month. So 70 plus hours we put in the time. So if you want to take a deep dive and learn yourself, there you go. We have our own online community. We're still using Discord as a bridge, but we do have our own online website portal community. We're still using TradingView as a bridge, but we have our own online charting system. Technically, if you wanted to trade by yourself, like stocks, crypto, and ETFs, you wouldn't need TradingView, but we're not paying for, well, We have it, but we haven't rolled out futures yet because that would be a much bigger cost. So all in good time. Eventually we'll have futures. Eventually we'll have all the everything that we need. Uh, we have most of it already for the admin, but we haven't rolled it out to the snipers yet. So admin's always going to be 1 or 2 steps ahead, and then eventually we'll catch the subscribers up to and the members up to what we have over here. But that's that quick peek behind the hood. This TQQQ, and under indicators, we have all the sniper indicators. We have the same ones on TradingView, but we've built it over here on Python as well, Python code. And then mic check, good. All right, and then on my chart, I have auto trend lines selected. I have chart patterns. I have gap detection. You could probably add in supply demand zones if you wanted to change it. You could do styles, all that, and you could add those. It's just it starts cluttering up the chart so much, but we have it. I mean, you could turn on everything, but it just, how much do you need? I draw out the sniper targets, and a lot of this stuff lines up with the sniper targets. How do I get off? Where did I put it? Where's supply? Oh, there it is. So supply and demand zones will automatically populate for you as well. And of course, one of the biggest things to help out is the sniper screener. I'll probably do another video on it, part 2, on how to use the screener with the breakout. But over on YouTube, I put out a video. I put it on X as well, but it probably gets lost in the algorithm. There's a video of the older version of the sniper screener. We've already updated it, so I probably have to do a part 2 on where to locate it and all that stuff. But you could filter it out with divergence, right? Daily or weekly, and filter and all that stuff. MACD divergence. The consolidation one is huge. So there's a lot of different ways you could filter out nearly 4,100 stocks, cryptos, and ETFs at the moment. So we had 8,000, but we scaled back to 4,100 because there wasn't hardly any volume on those 8,000 on the other 4,000. So, you're not going to get filled as good. And eventually we might get up to like 20,000, but we made a decision about a month ago to go scale back from 8,000 to 4,100 of ones that matter. So anyways, and there's a lot more, right? There's a lot more and a lot more that we're building out, alerts, all that stuff, news, log the trade, all that. So a lot more coming down the pipeline. We have so much to talk about, and of course, the online. This is the educational piece to it. 70 plus hours of recorded coaching, all dialed in, So, TQQQ. There we go. So we'll come back to it though. We'll come back to TQQ, and let's look at Bitcoin weekly chart. This is the bear market roadmap that I keep referring to that we posted on October 10th. Sip of water. October 10th, we posted this and said, here is the 2022 fractal. There was a lot of similarities to 2022 bear market before the bear market kicked in. Like everyone's talking about it now, but there were a lot of similarities way before we entered an official bear market, right? Way before. And it still continues to be similar. Do we expect it to be exactly the same? No, we do not. But there was the initial big drop. There was the initial big drop on the weekly chart. Then there was a relief rally, and there was a relief rally, and then another bigger drop. And now it's dropping again. and kind of doing one of these things, right? The week isn't over. So we'll see how it closes. We still have the rest of today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So we still have like 3.5 more days. A lot can happen. Just as we saw price up here at $74,000, by the end of the week, it pushed back down to 65,500 ish or whatever it was. So again, the candles pushed up here to 71,800, and we'll see by the end of the week if it starts to close back down back below 70,000 and looks very similar to how it ends up closing over here, right? If so, it could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, end of March, April, that we see price all the way back down here below the 200-week SMA at 58,862, as you can see here. And then we have several reasons why 55,000, 52,000, all of that. We have a lot of reasons why we can see below. And of course, if HODL and the Bitcoin ETFs revisit the January 2024 lows, Bitcoin price would be below $40,000. This is pointing out if Bitcoin shows us bullish divergence again at the bottom, like it did in 2022, we would see bullish divergence and we'd be ready to buy the right dip, right? We would be ready to buy the right dip. So we'll see how that plays out in the future. Right now, we're just taking it level by level. And what we're seeing is the weekly trending dots are trending downward. And those weekly trending dots are going to take time to flip around. However they flip around, obviously we'll most likely be in a position. I'll be in a position by then. Don't ever copy trade me. Learn to do it yourself. That's what I always say. But that's kind of like the trajectory of the trending dots. Retest, drop down, and then start the breakout, right? That's the way I kind of see it. And then the 2-week chart lines up with that, the 3-week chart, the monthly chart, all that lines up. But we'll take a look at it to the line. This is just another view of it. And if you remember on the weekly chart, this little move here from here to here, it was up here at the beginning of the week. It's still possible after that little bounce, by the end of the week, it could still end up closing down here at 63,800. And that would be, I think that would be the lowest weekly candle close of this bear market, and takes you back to levels of like September 2024, right? So by the end of this week, it's still possible. That was the little bounce. And if we looked back on 2022, that was probably a wick. Let's see. Let's take a look. I'd have to change that to candles. Yeah, 2 wicks, right? Very similar. 2 wicks, close below it at 26,000. That was the lowest weekly close. It's possible we see the exact same thing. Wick up, close down. Wick up. What if it closes back below here at 63,000 still on this weekly candle? That would be crazy. It's like that would be exactly the same, right? Not even similar, but exactly the same. Do we expect exactly the same? No, but it would be crazy if it was. And there's still time. There's still 3.5 days of a 7-day week remaining that it could play out very similar. That little bounce, 2 wicks, and ends up closing below here at 63,000 for the week. Chalk up another bull trap, right? Just like, might check good. just like this is a bull trap. It's like this was a bull trap. This was a more aggressive bull trap, and we played that perfectly. We played that perfectly. I was shorting Ethereum on this bull trap at $3,408. I was shorting Ethereum at $4,384 at the start of the 2022 bear market with 10x leverage. At $3,408, I had a target for ETH, and I posted it. I said Ethereum below $1,000. Not too many people are going to be ready for that. It was 3,408. In hindsight, it went below 900, right? At $4,384, I was shorting ETH with 10x leverage. And I said, not too many people are going to be ready for Ethereum below $2,500. And the target was at like 2380 or something. And I had an automatic take profit at 2,500 because I don't think it was because they were watching my charts, but the market bosses kept front running my Bitcoin targets by like $500 to $1,000. So I was like, well, I'm not going to let them front run my 10x leverage short. So I'll front run my own target at 2,500 and lock in profit at 2,500. And that's what I did. So same thing with that last drop over here. I had an automatic take. I can't remember that one. I had an automatic take profit, and I front ran my own target because I kept getting. They kept front running my own targets, so they kept front running my targets by, $500 to $1,000 on Bitcoin is not a big percentage, so it's not like I was missing out on a lot, especially with 10x. But I didn't want to miss out, so anyways, that was past. So this is what we're looking at still. It's possible this still plays out exactly the same. If not, expecting similarities, still expecting the trending dots to catch up. We'll see if it gives us bullish divergence. We'll see if all this happens. But this is the opportunity zone that we've been talking about below the 200-week SMA. But again, I continue to say that I will not just be buying just because it's below the 200 and it's a better value. Although it's a better strategy than buying up here into buying FOMO and selling low. It's better to buy low and sell into FOMO, but I'll still wait to buy the right dip. I'll still wait for a higher probability of reversal, right? Whether that's October, whether that's November, December, whatever it is, whatever that setup looks like. And of course, I'll post that setup in the community live with all the details first, right? All the sniper targets, all that stuff. I don't pull any punches. I haven't been posting setups as much because everything's bearish and most people buy long, not as many people short. So I haven't been posting like any short setups. There's just been longs, and I haven't posted any longs in a little bit. So, but I'll for sure be posting a Bitcoin long to buy the right dip in the community first, with all the details. So here we are. We still may have 7 more months of this to go. Lock in. NVIDIA, Larry. Yeah, we'll cover NVIDIA. We're going to cover all the Magnificent Seven, stuff like that. Let me finish up on Bitcoin here. And let's see. Just take a quick glance. 2-week chart. Red trading dots, bear market. Red trading dots, bear market. Right? 3-week chart, bear market. 3-week chart, bear market. monthly chart, sell signal below the trailing dots, sell signal below the trailing dots, bear market, right? So that's about it there. What else? Let's keep going. HODL, similar thoughts, Bitcoin futures. Cool. Cool. Bitcoin futures, Bitcoin versus gold. Couple things we've been talking about Bitcoin versus gold, and we'll continue to talk about it as time goes on, so people don't forget where it came from, where the source came from, because everyone will be talking about it eventually. But to my knowledge, I'm the only one talking about this. We have a downward sloping 200-week SMA on Bitcoin versus gold. That has never happened in the history of Bitcoin versus gold. And what I've been saying is you do not want to see Bitcoin versus the dollar have a downward sloping 200-week moving average. That's not bullish. That is bearish. Ethereum, a lot of these altcoins that we're going to take a look at have a downward sloping 200-week moving average. Bitcoin versus gold has a downward sloping 200-week moving average. Bitcoin versus the dollar does not yet. It is possible we will see it, but we haven't seen it yet. And hodlers will not want to see that. They will not want to experience that. Damon Jackson, what's up? What's up? What's up? When you're shorting or longing BTC, are you doing futures or perps? They're similar. If you're talking about an exchange, like say Coinbase, so I've done both, or Kraken or one of those exchanges, right? Uh, I don't have any affiliate links whatsoever on exchanges. I trust them as much as I don't know. And multiple exchanges, right? Because if FTX goes down or Celsius goes down or BlockFi goes down, right? You want to be diversified. I was too diversified in 2022. I forgot about my BlockFi account and they locked up $9,000 on me because I had like 20 something exchanges. I was too diversified that I actually forgot about $9,000, my BlockFi account. And then when I saw the BlockFi was going to file bankruptcy, I was like, oh crap, I think I have like $8,000 or $9,000 in there. And I had $9,000 in there. Luckily, it was a bear market. Luckily, I was no longer in Bitcoin spot in that account. And luckily, I had Gemini USD in BlockFi, $9,000 in 2022. And luckily, they paid back every single dollar because I was in Gemini USD because it was supposed to be in a stable coin. So if I had been in Bitcoin, the bankruptcy documents were saying that Gemini USD was going to get paid out first, and if there was anything left, then the Bitcoin and all these secure assets would be paid out second. But I don't even think I never heard any more on it, so I doubt any Bitcoin was repaid. Possible, but I doubt it. I know my buddy got repaid Bitcoin on Celsius, but BlockFi, I don't know. And so I was over diversified. I forgot about a $9,000 account. Oops. So I chalked it up as it was going to be a loss. I was like, we're going to lose 9,000. It's not the end of the world. Doesn't feel great, but it wasn't like I was so diversified that it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't say it's lunch money, but definitely don't want to lose $9,000. But then I got it back and I was like, oh, nice. That's a gift back of something that I lost originally. So, anyways, the hodlers. So I guess to answer your question was, I've done both. I do both, but I don't do the futures on the legacy brokerages, like say, uh, just call it Tasty Works. I guess they're Tasty Trades now. Um, I mean, they keep getting bought out, like different companies or changing names and stuff like that. TD Ameritrade, all the legacy brokerages, I don't, because the last time I checked, and I haven't checked recently, but they require like six six digits. And I don't want to lock up 6 digits and risk that kind of money on each trade. So, because I don't have 10 million sitting in the account, right? I'm not a big whale like that. So I don't want 6 digits sitting in the future. So I would do more of an exchange where it's not required to have that kind of capital in one trading account, right? Yeah, yeah. The crazy world of crypto and stocks and everything else, right? So downward sloping Bitcoin versus gold. Um, Also, the other thing that people are talking about that they consider to be um, bullish, and I say it's bearish, is that RSI has never closed this low ever on the monthly RSI at 34. Um, in the history of Bitcoin versus gold, right? Broke this 11-year downward trend line, broke this 7-year downward trend line. And as of right now, we'll see how it closes. But I drew this out. I redrew this and then copied it and pasted it over here. It's kind of following that similarly right now. And that would be like June of 2022, bounce and then come down lower. So, all things considered on Bitcoin versus gold, meaning that the bottom is not in. Oh, my check good. All right. Meaning that the bottom isn't in, and it could be a prolonged bear market till October, which we'll see how it plays out. But two things that I don't see others talking about that we've been talking about on every single live stream is the Bitcoin versus gold. Two major reasons why this time could be different for Bitcoin versus gold. We'll see if that's also true for Bitcoin versus the dollar. So we're going to take it level by level. And to circle back to everything that I'm talking about, that's why I don't personally DCA underneath the 200-week SMA, even though historically that's been a good time, right? Even though historically that's been a good time. If you started buying underneath the 200-week SMA and it starts downward sloping, next thing you know, you're down 30, 40%. And you're waiting for a while for things to flip around, right? Months. So that might be fine for you, but it's just not for me, right? It's just not for me. So you had the bearish divergence, you had the lower high on the monthly chart, you had a bearish divergence, you had the lower high, and then price came below the 200-week SMA, prices below 200-week MA. A lot of similarities, but this time is different. This time is different. There was never a downward sloping 200-week moving average in the last. This time there is. So is that because Bitcoin's going to be more bearish? Or is it only because gold is more bullish? Right? So we don't know yet. Like I said, we don't have a magic crystal ball. So we're just reading the tea leaves as we see them and do our best of our ability. Bitcoin versus the euro is already tagged the 200-week SMA, still upward sloping for now. Already has a red trending dot. So Bitcoin versus the dollar is lagging the Bitcoin versus zero on what the chart looks like. Let's keep going. Let's keep rocking and rolling. XRP still bearish. We talked about closing over here would signal higher probabilities of retesting the 200-week SMA. It was within like 20 cents, I think. It looks like it tagged it, but it didn't officially tag it at the time in real time. So I don't try to claim that it's better than it is now. It went lower than current 200-week SMA, but at the time it did not hit it. It was within 2 cents. I apologize. Ethereum, downward sloping 200-week SMA. This is the monthly chart drawings. So had a monthly candle close lower, did take out that wick with on lower time frames, but downward sloping 200-week moving average is not good long term. So Ethereum already has it. Altcoins already has it. Bitcoin versus gold already has a downward sloping 200-week SMA. Bitcoin versus the dollar does not yet. So it'll be interesting to see if Bitcoin versus the dollar also has a downward sloping 200. And if so, that could send us into a prolonged bear market with a deeper correction. So that's why. Chainlink, prime example. Bear market since 2021. Cardano, Algo. It can always go lower, right? It can always go lower. It's at 9 cents. One would say, the perma bulls will always say like, oh, it's on discount, right? But the problem is they said it was on discount at $1.67 as an example. The problem is they say it's on discount at 88 cents. The problem is they say it's on discount at 34 cents. Problem is they say it's on discount at 9 cents. Problem is they say it's on discount at 20 cents. Problem is they say it's on discount at 8 cents. Now it's on clearance, right? Now it's on clearance. But it was on clearance at 9 cents August 2023. So I would still personally wait for a higher probability of a reversal, because even if you bought it at 9 cents on clearance, which is the all-time low until the new all-time low, that was 2.5 years ago. Came down to 9 cents. So 2.5 years ago, price is below it now at 0.0871. So your capital is losing money. If you bought this bottom over here at 9 cents and you're holding it now at 8 cents, 2.5 years later, you've lost money because the time value against the dollar has lost money. If you bought Bitcoin at $67,000 in 2021 and you're holding today, Bitcoin feels like $50,000 today if you bought it at 67,000. So you're running against inflation. And if you're holding an asset, even if you bought on clearance, you're still down 2.5 years later. If you bought on sale over here, you're down 92% if you bought it on sale 1,500 days later. What was that, 5 years? February 2022? Well, 4 years. 4 years later, awesome. You caught a falling knife, right? You caught a falling knife. Awesome. You bought it on sale. You're so cool. You bought it on sale, right? You see all the influencers bragging about it. 4 years later, your position on sale is now down 92%. So if you put in $10,000, it's worth $1,000 minus inflation 4 years later. So that's not my strategy. If you're dollar cost averaging over here and you start buying at 60 cents before there was even a 200-week moving average on there, you're down 87%. So did I play this bounce and there was a 300% bounce? Yes. Yes, I did. There will be bounces along the way, but the overall like hodl mentality, right? Like we have bullish divergence on algo, and but the weekly chart is bearish, right? So expect bounces along the way, but expect those bounces to get sold off, right? So whale alert. Breaking news, 90 million. Click on it. Boom. Boom. So that's the long story short. Why I don't dollar cost average underneath the 200-week moving average, even though historically on Bitcoin, it's been a good time to buy. I just don't do it because if it becomes downward sloping, it could be a prolonged bear market. XLM near, and we don't know, right? MicroStrategy, the canary in the coal mine continues to be the canary in the coal mine for Bitcoin. NASDAQ, SP 500 all dropping. Gold. Is gold going to deviate away from the fractal from over here? Maybe. Is this going to be a lower high? It could be. Is this going to be another lower high? Possibly. Would it print a sell signal and we have further downside? Could be, right? But the higher time frames are ultra bullish. So it seems like it could go through a topping pattern. And that topping pattern might take a while to play out. So we don't know. Dollar continues to be bullish on the daily chart. The dollar continues to be bullish on the weekly chart. All of this was mapped out in advance. We've been covering it. We've been watching it. We've been covering it over and over and over again. What's up? Craig.Legalt, Hyperliquid, Crypto. Thank you for putting in all the details. Appreciate that. We'll circle back to all the requests at the end. So want to get through the dollar. The VIX is still elevated. The VIX is still bullish. Was that the retracement? Comes back down, lets the trailing dots catch up. Now resuming back higher. Look out above. We talked about this way before the breakout of this consolidation, of this coiling up, and it was already bullish. The weekly chart was already bullish. 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart, all that was already bullish on the VIX. That's not good for the markets. Let's switch over to Magnificent 7. PLTR bouncing. TQQQQQ. Weekly chart is still bearish. It was one of the first ones to have the weekly sell signal for the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ. bearish engulfing candle, overbought, trending dots rolled over, all of that, right? Daily chart is bearish. The gap down here. It's funny because this gap, we have it over. The gap's already like made over here, right? The automatic gap detection. So it's got all the gaps, 5.4%, all of that. What else? What else? So it's got this gap on here. So I missed a couple of the gaps. So it's good for the automatic gap detection, right? Automatic gap detection, cheat code over here. Boom. Just looking at this chart, we got the sniper indicator on here, oversold, reversal candle on the daily chart, and then off to the races. Overbought, 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 reverse candle, reverse candle, reverse candle, sell signal, and then the Wyckoff distribution, it looks like over here, and the automatic trend lines, all that stuff breaking down. Breaking down. Mm-hmm. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. TQQQQ. Let's go down this list over here. ANF, Meta. Oh, yeah. So kind of Meta slash BRK.B. What else? There were some others, and we put that fractal that looked similar for Netflix, and I think maybe it was Microsoft. I can't remember which fractal it was, but we put it on Netflix, and then when it was a pending buy signal on this bounce, similar to over here, and so this is the relief rally, right? That's the relief rally. Now it's breaking down, and most likely going to see much lower prices. So on Meta, weekly chart is still bearish. Bull trap. Bull trap. SMCI below the 200. Bullish divergence cleared. Still bearish. Got decent bounce though. Wick to wick was 25%. Apple. Ooh, I get to text mom. I told you so. She was up 30% on her position over here. It's hilarious. That was October 2025. So 5 months ago. And I said, Mom, you're up 30% on your Apple position. Let's lock in some profits. And, might have been a little too soon, right? Might have been a little too soon. And it was at like 255, but she was up 30%. And then you could roll that into cash. And I think she was making 4 or 5% on her cash. So, 4 or 5% over 5 months, it's not setting the world on fire, but left 13% on the table. But don't expect to catch the whole move anyways. So 8%. And if she was at cash making 4 to 5%, didn't really lose out on much. But now she's like, oh, Apple went up. Like after mom closed her position, right? Or stock. Of course, I get the text. Apple is up 278. I'm like, oh god. Oh, thanks, mom. leave it to family to make you feel good about your decision making, right? Now, in hindsight, I get to text her and be like, Apple's down. So, all in good fun. Uh, Dow Jones Transportation, one target. Not going to call the second target yet, but it's close. It's close. Tesla, there was a lot of reasons why price would come back down here. Price did come back down here. This is the Wyckoff distribution. This is the bearish divergence. So it's not just Wyckoff, right? It's bearish divergence, all of that. And we said if it starts breaking down from this trend line, all of that, then the probabilities continue to increase. So we're going to go down lower. UNH, bearish. Google, 163. Dang. A lot of people would be surprised if we saw Google at 163. But the market snipers on the live stream would not be surprised, right? You would not be surprised. Let's do the automatic gap detection. Give me some. I don't have Google on my watch list. Oops. Maybe this isn't. There we go. Bum bum bum. Daily chart. So this was bearish divergence. So you had the overbought reverse candle, bearish divergence. I guarantee that was bearish divergence. It was. You can see it on the indicator right there. You could see it on the indicator. Boom, 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 boom. So bearish divergence, sell signal, flips back around, buy signal, goes on a massive run, right? That's a massive run. Overbought, bearish divergence again. I'm sure of it. Oh, I got two. And then you've got bearish divergence showing again. So bearish divergence again. So there are a lot of reasons why price would fill this gap. It's a small, tiny gap. There are a lot of reasons why price could come back down here. And there's a lot of reasons why we could retest the 200-week SMA, right? It's very extended away. Got very close to tagging it back in April, but did not retest it. So it's been a long time. The January 2023 since it's retested the 200-week SMA. So the daily chart is bearish divergence. Looks like a lower high. And so we'll see what happens. But broke the trend line, close up here at 334, all of that. Woo! So that's Google. Russell was in a upward channel, bearish divergence, rolled over, right? Rolling over, came back for the back test of it and resumed lower. Amazon, composite index of the NASDAQ, QQQ, NASDAQ futures. One target's been hit so far multiple times. 1, 2, 3. We kept saying once we start seeing candle close below target 1, which we haven't seen yet, the probabilities of target 2 get hit. and then target 3, then target 4, then the 200-week SMA, right? So it's trending in that direction. It's trending in that direction. It already had a weekly sell signal last week. Already had it. 2-week chart, no sell signal yet. But by the time it does on the 2-week chart, it's already down, right? From wick to close, 12%, 14%. So it's lagging. The 2-week chart is the 2-week chart is lagging. So that's where we're at on the NASDAQ daily, weekly, 2-week chart. So it's going through the topping pattern right now, and it looks like it's dropping from here. Dow Jones Industrial Average Index dropping. SPX, Dow Jones Futures, right? They're all lining up. SPY, SP 500, NVIDIA holding on, but basically it's been the same price since July 2025. So 9 months, it's been the same price as it was 9 months ago. So just continues to go sideways. Netflix, we put this fractal out on February 25th. So what was that? 3 weeks ago? Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, roughly. So it was on this pending buy signal. It hadn't even closed yet. So 15 days, 2 weeks. Good job, Jesse. By the 25th, my calendar days is more. So it had the big initial drop from June all the way down. Now it looks like the relief rally. If you zoom out, could be the right shoulder. And if so, if it turns out to be the right shoulder, a lot of people would be surprised if we saw price all the way back down to $64 and below it. So, but patience could take some time for it to unfold and build out a right shoulder. Microsoft, dollar, covered that one. PLTR bouncing. Probably something similar to Netflix. You get the bearish version, it's lower high, the big initial drop, and then possibly go through, the relief rally, and then possibly lower prices all the way down, right? $7. TQQQQ looks primed. So with that, I think we're pretty close to it. We're already at like an hour. So let's start doing the chart requests. We'll run through those. AREC. American Resources Corporation, AREC, on the NASDAQ. It looks like it's buy the dip season, right? It looks like it's buy the dip season. Doesn't mean that you would just go out and buy blindly, because if you buy blindly at $7 and then it drops 50% or whatever the drop was, 70%, which doesn't look good, right? This one, this is the pump and dump scheme when it IPO'd. Pump and dump, pump and dump, pump and dump, pump, and was that another dump, right? So that's the negative that I wouldn't want to personally, like, I have no desire to trade this whatsoever. Um, who knows what your motivation is? Maybe you work there. Maybe you're a shareholder because you work there. Who knows? But I don't know what your details are. But for me, looking at this chart, it's like if all it does is dump on the IPO, then pumps for a couple months and then dumps straight back down, and that's the history of the 10-year history of that's all it does. Is this time different? Could be. This time could be different. But it hasn't been different yet. So that's a big flag, red flag to me. That's a big risk because it's never shown a sustained rally. It's only shown multi-month, 1, 2, 3 months, maybe a little bit higher. From these lows, though, you can see, well, I mean, if you count it from the build up down here, but once it gets back over the trending dots, let's say it's over the trending dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, right? 1 drop. This is 1, 2, 3. It's like the same thing again over and over and over again. Is this time different? Maybe. This time could be different because you got the training dots crossing the 200-week SMA. You have that a bullish 200-week SMA for the first time. Well, I guess not the first time. It was bullish over here, dropped straight back down. It was bullish over here, dropped down. So it's not for me. Could be for you. But it is bullish on the monthly chart right now. 3-week chart is currently bullish. It's the first time that the 3-week chart, the trending dots and the monthly chart are all, the trending dots are all above the 200-week SMA. That's a positive. 2-week chart is bullish. Weekly chart is bullish. But there's bearish divergence. So could it be the next buy the dip opportunity? Sure. Right? So there was a buy signal here at 332, plus the higher time frames are bullish, plus there was a 72% correction. 71% if you round up. So it's possible, right? It's possible. Just make sure you have your exit strategy all laid out in advance, and you'd want to see it start making move in the near future. Otherwise, if it starts breaking back down, the line in the sand is going to be there. So that could be, we talked about this a lot on the recorded coaching, but that could be like your visual stop loss as well. Even if your stop loss wasn't taken out, if it started closing below the trailing dots with the sell signal below the upward trend line. That's kind of like your visual stop loss. So I can't take a deep dive on it now, but that's AREC. Bloom Energy is bullish right now. It's bullish on the weekly chart. It's ultra bullish on the 2-week chart. It's ultra bullish on the monthly chart. It's ultra bullish on the 3-week chart. So the overall trend is bullish. Bullish engulfing candle on the weekly chart. It's starting to get pretty wicky up here. But see how this weekly close happens, because it could be the highest weekly close ever. Yep, could be the highest weekly close ever. So, the trend can be your friend until the end. So that's kind of what you're looking at there. There are signs. There is bearish divergence on the daily chart. Could have been cleared. So it's just, for me, like I wouldn't be, it could still be buying the dip season. It still could be buy the dip season for sure, right? But it is pretty extended away from the 200-week SMA. It's currently 480% away from it. But the higher time frames are ultra bullish. So it could take time for this to unfold. However it unfolds, if this is going through a topping pattern, right? It could continue to go through a topping pattern until it rolls over. So short term, everything is bullish, but there's bearish divergence, right? So it could continue to go through bearish divergence and take time for the higher time frames to start rolling over, letting those higher time frame trending dots catch up. So however the price action plays out, it could fail forward before it starts to roll over. So that's kind of the way I see Bloom Energy. Daily chart is bullish. The higher time frames are bullish. Could it start going through? Is it going through a topping pattern? Maybe. Could it start going through a topping pattern? Yes. Could it take some time to go through topping pattern? Yes. All things can be true at once. So I'm out of water. Uh-oh. Gonna wrap this up. Not much really to report on RBLX. Is bearish on the daily, weekly, 2-week, 3-week, and monthly chart. It's in a bear market. Could you see a bounce? Sure. But it seems like it's going to retest the 200-week SMA first, and that's only $3 away. So not much really to report on it. Is that it? Oh, one more. We got a late request at 10:16. No, remind me tomorrow. Yeah, maybe for tomorrow. I'm losing steam. I'm out of water. I just lost all my water. Craig, last one. And then we'll take one more peek at Bitcoin before we leave. But yeah. People love to look at height. Hype had the bullish divergence, the buy signal came up here, bearish divergence, went through the correction. We had this all mapped out. Someone must have had me look at it already. And we had mapped out this could be a higher low. And then February 28th, it broke out with another buy signal. And so bullish divergence, higher low is the higher probability of the breakout going higher. And then we had yesterday we had a candle close above here, taking out this pivot point. And so bullish divergence, higher low, higher high. Right? So that's another higher high. So far. So higher high than here. Took out that pivot point, then put in a higher low, and now it's put in another higher high. So, and you could even put another higher low over here. A sneaky one, right? So it's making higher highs and higher lows as of right now. It's bullish on the daily chart. Weekly chart has a pending buy signal. Qcoin, there's not a ton of chart history, but it's bullish. It's bullish on the daily chart. It's pending buy signal on the weekly chart. Pending buy signal on the 2-week chart, getting back above the trailing dots. 3-week chart has buy signal, but there's not a lot of chart history, so you probably can't even look at the 3-week or the monthly chart. Maybe not even the 2-week chart, but it's bullish, right? So there's nothing on this chart as of this moment that says bearish, right? So it took time for it to play out. You have these downward trend lines going all the way back to the top of September, right? So it went through the bullish divergence, broke out, came back, got rejected. And so that was, like a 5-6 months of going through all of that. And now it's breaking out to the upside while the higher trend frames are bullish. So there you go. You found a bullish chart. Bada bing, bada boom. And someone had me take a look at it already, and we had already mapped it out. That could be the higher low. And then, of course, looking back now, that was a buy signal on the breakout back above the trading dots, above the downward trend line that goes all the way back 6 months. Mic check. Good. All right. So there you go, Craig. Hopefully that helps. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. That's about it. That's about it. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for smashing the like button, hitting the comments, reposting the stream, sharing with your friends and family. I appreciate all of your support with that. Hope you have a good rest of your evening, good rest of your day, good night, good morning, wherever you're at in the world, whatever time zone you're in. We will continue to sniper the markets every day that the stock market is open, as long as I'm able and willing. Who knows if I'm ever going to be on vacation in the near future, or maybe I'm not feeling well one day, or just too busy, whatever the case may be. But other than that, we expect and we plan to be live streaming every single day that the stock market is open. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for all of your support. Appreciate you. And we'll continue snapping the markets together. Adios.